guys, so we have multiple breaking news coming out. We're gonna start with this one first. A massive 5-alarm fire burning in Austin, Texas, near the University of Texas. University of Texas? Wow. I don't know. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with this news here. There's been a lot of stuff going on with the university across America. Multiple structures have caught fire and is spreading quickly. Wow. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with all this news here, guys. And you already know, late night video, we have all these news. I want to share with you. 3i Atlas is releasing nickel and iron as it races through our solar system, setting it apart from typical solar system, comets, and even the previous interstellar visitor 21/Borisov observed in 2019. All right, so we're going to get to all this news here, guys. We have some more information coming out. Look out! Look out. Digital ID. First, it was the UK. Now, Switzerland is embracing digital ID as the beast system is falling into place. Alright guys, we're going to get to all this news here before I start. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and a PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. All right, so we talked about this. Me and my wife, we talked about this. We are sounding the alarm on digital ID. All right, so this is going to be a whole new ball game, guys. And I do believe this is the door, the opening, the tip of it, of the mark of the beast. All right, so you guys already know the book of Revelation. You can no longer buy or sell. Now, this is similar to it. But like I said, what they're trying to do here is that they're trying to get the people comfortable for when the real mark comes in, people won't be thinking about the mark. Because, again, they've just been programmed into the first stage. You know, we got to get them feeling comfortable and not fear. All right, so, again, do not be deceived. Keep your eyes open. Put on the whole armor of God. We're going to get to all this news here, guys. Let me just show you some more stuff here. And once again, if you can, please share the video. Here's another footage. Jeez. Multiple buildings went up in flames at a former Motel 9 University downtown in Austin, Texas. The fire, which spread through a vacant hotel and restaurant has since been contained. No injuries were reported. All right, so everything seems like it's good right now. But you guys already know there's been a lot of stuff going on in the university. Again, you got certain individuals, active, shooter and stuff like that going on in those facilities. All right, so here's another footage. Wow, this was a huge fire in downtown Austin next to St. David's Hospital and Roadway Inn Hotel. Okay, guys, we have some more news when it comes to explosion and fire. This one here is war. Ukrainian drones strike ignite oil depot in Crimea. A Ukrainian drone hit an oil depot in Crimea, setting off a major fire. The city is a key logistical point for the bare fuel and supply routes in the region. Strikes like this are part of Ukraine's effort to weaken the bare operations deep behind the front lines. Wow. So they hit the bear really hard. They hit Russia really hard. They keep hitting those facility, the oil facility. Here's another breaking news. Crane blast critical Russian armor depot. Man, another one? Alright, so Crane is striking back. So Crane just hit what could be one of Russia's biggest weapon storage sites near the city of Mariupol. The blast reportedly destroyed tons of missiles and ammunition, possibly cutting off key supplies for the Bear troops fighting in the areas. Now, the strike comes right after Putin warned there will be consequences for Western-backed attacks. Now, Zelensky also told the UN that Ukraine will keep fighting back no matter what. This strike is sending a strong message. Ukraine isn't backing down. It shows the world that even after years of war, they can still hit deep inside the Bear territory. Now, the move could also push Putin to strike back even harder. Fears that this war might be entering a much more dangerous phase are piling up. Wow, here's another one. Ukraine strike Russia's energy grid in Belgorod after Putin threatened escalation if they did. Man. So they hit the grid, they hit the oil facility, and they also hit the weapon storage facility. So they're hitting a lot of stuff tonight. So a Ukrainian missile or drone slammed into energy facility in the Russian border city of Belgorod, knocking out power for large swath of the city as emergency crews scramble in the dark. Now, this comes only days after Vladimir warned that hitting Russian energy infrastructure was a dangerous game and threatened to retaliate by striking Ukraine's own nuclear plants if Kiev dared to push that line. Now, the U.S. commander never one to whisper where he can shout, publicly told Ukraine to go ahead and hit the bear where it hurts, backing deeper strikes on its energy network while mocking Moscow as a paper tiger. Now, it says here, Ukraine seems to have taken the dare, firing straight into the bear grid and showing that no part of the border region is safe from its reach. Now, Vladimir is now boxed in after making loud threats about mirror responses and serious consequences, meaning the next move could define how far this phase of infrastructure strikes will go. All right, so once again, Ukraine strike Russia's energy grid in Belgorod. And they struck the weapons facility, the biggest one in Mariupol, and they also hit the oil refinery in Crimea. So they're really striking tonight. All right, give me a second here, guys. Ooh, look at this here. This is not good. Another strike on ICE agents in Chicago. Look at this here. Wow. Are you serious? Wow. Give me a second here, guys. Okay, so I'm not gonna play too much of that video, but yikes. That was again, that was brutal. Another strike on ICE agents in Chicago. A second lawlessness incident targeting federal agents broke out just hours after an earlier vehicular assault on the same day. Now it says here in the first, a suspect rammed federal vehicles in what's being investigated as a attack. Later that same day, ICE agents were struck again, this time in a separate incident confirmed by DHS. Now, where is the governor of Illinois? Where is the mayor of Chicago? Nothing? Silence? Shame on you. Shame on you. You guys are really defending lawlessness. That is sick. That is absolutely sick. Sick. The U.S. commander is activating up to 400 Texas National Guard personnel for deployment to Oregon, Illinois, and possibly elsewhere. This is coming out from Secretary of War Hegseth. Wow. There's a possibility. It seems like the red state, they might send their guards too. Meanwhile, Gavin is crying. I'm gonna sue Donald. He's taking my troops. He said he's gonna sue Donald, and yeah, it's just really sad. It's really sad. This is where we are right now, guys. All right, so ICE cuffed the gang member in Chicago. It seems like the governor is protecting this one here. Confirmed, Venezuelan gang member was cuffed by ICE Chicago officer. He has a domestic lawlessness conviction and pending 2024-2025 felony charges for assault, weapon offense, shoplifting, larceny, you name it. Now, this gang is a lawlessness transnational organization whose presence in the U.S. threaten Americans' safety. We won't stop until they're out of this country. Once again, this is coming out from the you have the ICE. What are your thoughts, guys? Leave comments down below. Here's the governor. Hey, it's the governor of Illinois. He's been quiet. Okay, so the governor said this evening the U.S. commander is ordering 400 members of Texas National Guard for deployment to Illinois, Oregon, and other locations within the U.S. No officials from the federal gov called me directly to discuss or coordinate. Well, nobody's gonna talk to you. You don't do nothing. ICE were hit again, and you didn't do absolutely nothing. So nobody take you serious. Nobody takes you serious. All right, give me a second here, guys. The U.S. Commander once again is ordering 400 members. Give me a second here. Okay, guys, I truly apologize. It was a very important call I had to pick up. So I truly apologize about that. Okay, so give me a second here. Now we're going to go with the next one. Hold on. What is this here? The U.S. commander says U.S. will start striking. Hold on. U.S. will start striking the gangs on land. Because after yet another strike last night on a boat of Venezuela. They're not coming in by sea anymore. So now we'll have to start looking about the land because they'll be forced to go by land. So are they going to strike Venezuela? Keep your eyes open on this one here, guys. All right, so keep your eyes open on when it comes to Venezuela. So it seems like the U.S. might go full force. All right, so we're going to go with this next one. The White House is now deploying federalized troops of another state's National Guard into the cities of states that the U.S. commander has publicly declared are enemies of the U.S. We are approaching an extremely dangerous point in this country, as well as likely one of the largest challenges to states' rights since the civil rights movement, possibly even Civil War. Don't say that name. We don't want to hear that name. We don't want to hear that. Okay, so once again, it says here U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has ordered the call-up and federalization of 400 airmen and soldiers with the Texas National Guard in order to perform federal protection missions where needed, including the city of Portland and Chicago. This order follows the failure of a plan by the U.S. Commander Administration to deploy federalized members of the Oregon National Guard to Portland against the wishes of the governor, which was temporarily halted by a federal judge appointed by the U.S. commander. All right, so once again, the U.S. commander is going to be taking national guards from other states and placing them in the blue state. Okay, so I want to go with this one here. I want to go with the digital ID now really quick. All right, let's see, let's see what's going on with this one here. First, the UK, and now Switzerland embraces digital ID as the beast. System is falling into place. In a closely contested referendum, Switzerland has forged ahead with a groundbreaking digital identification system that prioritizes users' privacy, setting it apart from more intrusive models being pursued by the European Union and the UK. Look out. There's going to be a lot more that's going to follow. All right, so I think the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Philippines might be following the same path too. So this development, approved by a slim margin, underscores the ongoing tensions across Europe regarding data security, the gov oversight, and individual freedoms. Swiss electorate voted on the Federal Act on Electronic Identification Services with just 50.4% in favor, marking the second national debate on digital identities in 4 years. The narrow victory highlights societal divides, particularly in rural and conservatives areas where concerns about surveillance and potential data misuse run deep. These anxieties mirror broader European apprehensions amplified by increasing digital monitoring. So a lot of people's not comfortable with this. And there's been a petition. There's been like over 2 million signatures. And of course, the parliament in UK, they, decided to listen, and they say, you know what? Forget about these signatures. We're still going to put this out there. You guys still going to have to get this digital ID, whether you like it whether you like it or not. At the core of Switzerland approach is a system designed to address, I'm going to skip that name, fears head on. The EID strictly voluntary, provided free of charge, and issued solely by the state. Now, crucially, all personnel information stays on the user's smartphone, avoiding any centralized gov or commercial database. Now, physical ID cards will continue to be available and valid, uh, ensuring citizens retain genuine choice in their engagement with digital tools. Now, this model stands in sharp contrast to initiative elsewhere in Europe. Now, the EU's European Digital Identity Wallet emphasizes cross-border compatibility, but incorporates a mix of centralized and decentralized data storage, which has sparked worries about data aggregation and user profiling. All right, so once again, guys, like I said, a lot of people out there are not very comfortable with this, but it has to happen. It has to happen. This is what the Bible has been speaking about, warning about this new system that's going to take place. Now, this is not the mark of the beast. Like I said, at the very beginning of the video, I believe this is just to get people comfortable. Right now, people are talking about, oh, this is the book of Revelation. It's the mark. It's the mark. And they're just trying to get people to get involved in this first stage and just, making people feel like less fear. So when the real deal comes through, we're talking about the mark, a lot of people's not going to be thinking about it. So it says here, meanwhile, in the UK, the Prime Minister Starmer administration is pushing forward with plans that can make holding a digital ID essential for employment, a policy that has drawn sharp rebukes from civil rights advocates and the public, who fear it could lead to exclusion from jobs and essential services. Now, Swiss campaigners have voiced similar cautions, warning that even voluntary schemes can, over time, become de facto mandatory if access to essential services moves online. Once again, despite these concerns, proponents in the Swiss parliament and Gov maintain that their framework provides unparalleled privacy by design, a radical answer to European fears of sociocratic style, system, and institutional overreach. All right, so once again, guys, a very important update. Seems like Switzerland is going to join the party. And again, Switzerland was one of the first. I think certain area in Switzerland, they do the palm scanning. And now they're going to have the digital ID. Now, this is going to happen in the U.S. It's going to happen all over. And then the next thing will be digital currency. So all this will be systemized program. It's basically what the Bible warns about, the new system, the new world system. All right, so we're going to jump with the next news here, guys. Give me a second here. All right, so we have this news. Mysterious 3I Atlas releasing strange metals as it races through our solar system. Now, I did post a video of this over my other channel. There was some pictures that was released. And it was, a lot of people are saying that it doesn't look like an asteroid or nothing. But it does look like a space rock. It just comes from a different galaxy. It's just different, shape. But it's not a UFO. According to NASA, it's not a UFO. Sorry to all the UFO fans out there. I know a lot of people were hoping this was some kind of mothership, but it's not. Astronomers have uncovered a baffling discovery about the third interstellar object ever observed in our solar system, known as 3I Atlas. This enigmatic comet-like body is releasing an unusual abundance of nickel and iron in its gas plume, challenging our understanding of how such objects behave. Now, the findings come from a recent yet to be peer review paper by an international team of astronomers who analyzed data from the European Very Large Telescopes, ultraviolet and visual Intel spectrograph. Now, they noted that the 3-eye atlas exhibits an extreme abundance ratio of nickel and iron, setting it apart from typical solar system comets and even the previous interstellar visitor 20 that's 2I slash Borisov observed in 2019. So what makes this particularly intriguing is the environmental condition. As the researchers explain, at the distances at which comets are observed, the temperature is far too low to vaporize silicate, sulfide, and metallic grains that contain nickel and iron atom. Now, therefore, the presence of nickel and iron atom is cometary coma and extremely puzzling. All right, so I'm just going to skip the rest of this here, guys, if you just want to pause and read the rest. But yeah, I did post a video about this one here, guys, and very important you check it out. The link will be in the comments box, and very important pictures were released today. But again, it's not going to hit us. It's not going to hit planet Earth, and it's definitely not a mothership. All right, it's not an alien and stuff like that. All right, so we're gonna go with the next news here, guys. Give me a second here. Also, we have something here, guys. The US president warns of massive response if Hamas fails to agree to peace deal, but it's already been. Yeah, the deadline was today. It was Sunday, right? 6 p.m. So in an urgent push for resolution in the Mideast, the U.S. commander has called on Hamas to act swiftly on a U.S. broker peace proposal for Gaza, continuing that delays could lead to unprecedented lawlessness. But yeah, time is up already. It was Sunday, 6 p.m. Right now it's Monday. So I guess he's sending another warning. So the U.S. commander warning came via a social media post on Truth Social, issued just minutes before a key deadline expired on Sunday. So that's the one, 6 p.m. Now, the U.S. commander emphasized the positive progress in negotiations, stating in his post, very positive discussion with Hamas and countries from all over the world to release this weekend, to release the innocents and end the war in Gaza, but more importantly, finally have long sought peace in the Mideast. Here's the thing, you will never have peace out there. Not even King David couldn't bring peace to the Mideast. All right, so again, I mean, there's peace temporarily, but not long term. So it says here, he described the talks as very successful and proceeding rapidly, noting that technical teams would reconvene in Egypt on Monday to finalize the detail. All right, so it seems like the 6 p.m. deadline has been extended. He described the talks as very successful and proceeding rapidly, noting that technical teams would reconvene in Egypt. So I read that part. So speaking to reporters later that evening, the U.S. commander expressed optimism about the process. We have some very good meetings, and it looks like it's working, he said. So we'll wait for a little while and see how it all turns out. However, he stressed the need for immediate action in his post, writing, I am seeking everyone to move fast, he added. Time is of the essence or massive bloodshed will follow. Wow. something that nobody wants to see. Wow. So once again, the U.S. commander, look at this, all caps. The U.S. commander said time is off the essence or massive bloodshed will follow. Something that nobody wants to see. So the peace proposal unveiled by the U.S. commander in late September outlines a comprehensive plan to end the Holy Land military operation in Gaza, disarm Hamas, and rebuild the region under a palest governing body supervised by a U.S.-led international coalition. The Holy Land Prime Minister Benjamin has repeatedly agreed to the 20-point framework. Now, this latest statement builds on the U.S. commander earlier announcement on October 3rd, where he set a firm deadline and warned, if this last chance agreement is not reached, all hell, like no one has ever seen before, will break out against Hamas. He concluded there will be peace in the Mid-East one way or the other. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now you're making Grandpa, get the sandals. He's gonna start whipping people out there. All right, guys, give me a second here. I want to take you back on X and see if there's any more updates here. Breaking news 14 minutes ago. What's going on here? Watch as anti-ICE group in Portland celebrate after a federal judge temporarily blocked the U.S. Commander administration from deploying California National Guard troops to Portland. All right. All right, so I'm just going to skip that, guys. I'm showing the video right now. So once again, the federal judge temporarily blocked the U.S. Commander-in-Chief administration from deploying any National Guard troops in Oregon. Wow. So this is like the big news right now, guys. Look at this. All this is coming out right now. I think all this is going to go to the Supreme Court. All right, so give me a second here. We have this news coming out too. Breaking news, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has officially authorized 400 Texas Guardsmen to Portland. So you got this stuff coming out, and at the same time, you got the federal judge blocked it. So we don't know how all this is going to play out, but there's a possibility. I think U.S. Commander is going to be too defiant on this one here. The U.S. Commander is not going to listen to that federal judge and say, get out the way. I'm going in. I'm going in. So, all right, so right now there's a celebration going on. It seems like those group of protesters are really happy. For the first time, I don't see them causing any lawlessness out there. And I'm sharing a lot of videos on Twitter, so just follow me on X. All the information will be in the description box. Alright, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. I'm not seeing anything else. Let me just refresh the page really quick. 26 minutes ago, you got some clash going on. That didn't last long. They were celebrating now. They're going wild.
She gonna knock you out.
Alright, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. It says here, let me just take you to the clash erupts between these group outside Portland ICE Center. Two heated confrontation nearly broke out outside the Portland ICE detention. An ICE supporter clashed face to face. Once again, police and on-site security intervened to keep groups apart as shouting and physical jostling escalated. Some attendees carried flags and recorded the scene, while others attempted to de-escalate before fight could break out. Wow. Once again, you have this group out there refuses to move as federal agents clear Portland ICE gate. Agents confronted this group refusing to move as they cleared the gates for incoming vehicle. "Ma'am, calm down," one officer said. "Woman, calm down," one officer said as tension flared outside the detention center. The facility remains on alert after repeated clashes with demonstrators in recent days. These people need Christ. These people really need Christ. We got some more. Heavy security at Portland ICE facility. Armed officers have taken position on the roof of Portland ICE detention center as tensions rise outside the compound. The facility gates have been shut following heated of these groups and escalating confrontation in recent days. So breaking. Following an emergency hearing, the federal district judge says the U.S. commander cannot deploy the California National Guard to Oregon to protect federal property and personnel from the gangs or the Antifa. You guys know who Antifa is. Alright, so this is where we are right now, guys. We are seeing that our beloved sleeping giant is divided, not united. I'm sorry, I don't see that anymore. The sleeping giant ones, they used to come together and, one nation under God. And I was watching this movie, Lean on Me, starring Morgan Freeman. At the very, very beginning of the video, there was a school in Patterson, New Jersey, East Side High. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was, great. I mean, it was just America. And then a few years later, everything just divided. I mean, you got lawlessness and everything. What happened to our sleeping giant land? A land that used to worship and look up to God. All of a sudden, it's just becoming lawlessness. It goes to tell you that we are definitely in the end times. We are definitely seeing many, many people walking to the wicked path. It's only a few people repenting, but a great number of people just not seeking for Christ. And many of them are lost. They need to hear the gospel. Anyway, guys, this is where we are right now. Please pray for the sleeping giant. Pray for each other. Pray for the world. Pray for me, and I'll pray for you. We need to focus on Jesus Christ and put on the whole armor of God. End times is filled with a lot of antichrist spirits, and we are seeing that right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.